All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Go Home edition of React After Raw. We are joining you here live on YouTube, as always, every single Monday night. And Raw just got over. Some of you might be watching the backstage patch with Hulk Hogan. I'm not, because I'm here with you. We are here to react, and it is going to be a good show. We got a lot to talk about. Good show tonight. WWE did a great job. So let me introduce the panel for you today. And someday we're going to have everyone on here. That's my hope. But for now, making his return, the one and only Matt Donato.
I'm loving those sound effects. I am back after 7 long weeks. It's been a little bit. I've missed React. I've definitely missed it. I love screaming and cussing about Monday Night Raw. It's enjoyable. But I've been really busy with Before the Bell. I do the Mick Foley shameless plug, shameless pop.
That's all right.
Working on Before the Bell, which is an awesome new show that I'm doing. So go check it out on YouTube. Obviously, after this one, don't be a jerk and just go watch it while we're in the middle of a show.
Yeah, jerky jerk face. All right. Hope you guys like that cheesy sound effect, because there's plenty more to come tonight on the show. But we're just going to jump right into it here. We're going to be here with you for about the next hour. It might hit overtime because it was a good Raw. So there's plenty to talk about. So Raw kicks off and they do the recap of last week's main event. No, we don't give a shit. We saw it. We don't need to see it again. Whatever. Moving on. All right, so it starts off. The Authority comes out. Triple H cutting the promo. Someone on our Facebook complained that, oh yeah, the Authority's kicking off Raw again. Not a big deal. Not every Raw is going to kick off with a match or some other person. But as we've said in recent weeks, the continuity that they're kind of going for, and that's what happened tonight. There was the Authority and Rollins. It was all there, and that carried throughout the show. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me during this opening promo was they were talking about ending the rivalries between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Orton and Cena. I don't know why that was a point that they decided to put in that promo, but to me it just didn't make any sense, because we know that this isn't the end of these rivalries. If anything, this is just the beginning for Ambrose and Rollins, and it's just sure as hell not the end of Orton and Cena. So I don't see why that was the case in that promo. And then it was announced that the winner of Orton and Cena will go on to get a shot at Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I'm hoping it's Orton. If it's not, it's going to be Cena, and I'm going to cry. No, I'm not. I'm not going to cry. But anyway, Matt, I'm going to shoot it over to you. I want to get your thoughts on that opening promo from the Authority, Rollins, and Orton.
Well, Alec, I thank you for asking. I definitely, I don't disagree with the comment on Facebook. Obviously, not every opening segment is going to be, it's good that they stayed with this. My only issue was it felt like the same exact promo that they've been cutting for weeks on end. There really wasn't, for me anyway, a whole lot of difference in the opening segment. I was a little bit annoyed with the fact that they were going with the same exact main event we've had for weeks now. I understand they're trying to push this match. I'm going to turn down the volume on my phone. It keeps buzzing and going off here and distracting me. I got to be focused for React right now. When we all know how easy it is to distract Matt Donato, it's not very difficult. But I think the point of them throwing in there, I don't think it's going to be the end of the rivalry. I think it's going to be the end of the rivalry for now. But I do think as long as Cena and Orton, we're going to get something else somewhere down the line. But I think for right now, I think really what they're aiming for is after Hell in a Cell, we're going to see a Seth Rollins, Randy Orton type of feud. So I don't think I think Cena's going to win, and he'll go into Brock Lesnar. Then we'll get Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. And that actually worries me, because where does that leave Ambrose? Who else on the roster is there for Ambrose to face in order to keep him relevant? I mean, There's not really anybody. I mean, he could, I guess. I mean, you don't really want to turn him heel. He's hot right now. People really like him. So
Right.
I don't know what to do with Ambrose after this. I feel like there's going to be one person in this double main event that's going to be left in the dust.
Well,
I talked
I
about this a
think
little bit.
that they're gonna go with Ambrose and Cena for the next setup for Ambrose and his continued storyline. And interesting that you're pointing out, interesting thing that you're pointing out, someone mentioned on our Facebook is I mentioned that WWE is continuing to build the rivalry between Seth Rollins and Randy, and someone commented and said, "No, we don't need Rollins versus Orton. We need Dean versus Orton."
Hmm.
Um, thoughts on that?
That's definitely interesting. I think either way, that I don't understand what he means by we don't need Orton versus Rollins. I think that's the perfect setup. But I
Absolutely.
could see my only issue with I gotta agree with you a little bit. The more that I think about it, the more it would make sense to have Rollins um, and Orton, because if Cena were to win and go on to face Lesnar, we all know that he's already going to be going to the Royal Rumble to be fighting Lesnar. So you
Right.
kind of need that break because I don't want to see him again at Survivor Series and then again at the next pay-per-view, then the next one, and then at Royal Rumble, and then that's just way too much. So I don't know. I think it would be weird. It's it's interesting to see how they're going to work this because if Cena loses to Randy Orton, then there's not much credibility going in for Cena to fight Brock Lesnar. If Orton loses to Lesnar, then there's really no point. So they're going to have to orchestrate this the right way. Um, Maybe Cena gets attacked in a disqualification and Orton wins by a fluke. I don't know. Maybe Seth Rollins interrupts the match or something. I don't know. They have to do something that's gonna. It's a difficult match, especially with that stipulation, because if Cena wins, then the fans are gonna be bored because then we get to see Cena Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, Cena Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and we're already take those two out, and we're already bored with this match. We don't want to see Cena or Lesnar again.
Right.
But if he wins, we're probably going to get it two more times. So that I don't want happening. On the other hand, if Orton wins, um, you know, I guess that could lead up. I guess they could do it that way, but then it makes Cena look weak, and then it's kind of pointless for him to fight Lesnar at Royal Rumble. So this is kind of a lose lose. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with this because it's a really delicate situation they have. Um, they are. I do. I mean, I don't agree. Like you said, we definitely need Rollins versus Orton. That needs to happen. I would not mind seeing Ambrose Orton either. I think that could happen somewhere down the road too. Um, but right now the storyline is, obviously as of that main event, we're obviously going to get to, but with the dissension already happening between the two, we know they're building towards that. For them to jump off of that and act like it didn't happen and go straight to Ambrose Orton would be kind of, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of variables in this main
Yeah,
event.
there's
It's
a lot
going
of
to
moving
be
parts
interesting.
going into all this because you have so many key players right now all involved in this one big on this one big feud, and then someone's going to go on to face Lesnar, and you're going to wonder, okay, who's left with who? Because if Cena wins on Sunday and goes on to face Lesnar, then that means Orton's going to go off and face Rollins. So what does Dean Ambrose do? Does he still go after Rollins, or does he go after Cena while Cena's trying to pursue Brock Lesnar? It's going to be interesting to see what happens after this all unfolds Sunday. We get to next week's Monday Night Raw, and we'll see what WWE is planning from there. Hopefully something great. After that,
I'm,
WWE does another tag match as their first match. All right, I'll let you go ahead.
I
I know you
appreciate
want to
that. I
say
was just
something.
gonna say I did want to say something because the this is something I didn't touch on. Neither one of them, I think, mentioned is that the Ambrose Rollins match is going first. So after this Monday, there's no doubt in my mind that Orton's going to interfere in the Rollins Ambrose match. So that being said, that could keep the rivalry between Ambrose and Rollins alive because there's no definite winner. But
Hmm.
to me, at this point, at this juncture in their rivalry, I just want to see it honestly over with. Not that I want to see the rivalry over with, but I want to see something decisive because we've seen this cat and mouse game already over and over and over. And at least for me, and I'm a huge Ambrose fan. I know you said this is just the beginning, but I think I'd be really really annoyed with one great Hell in a Cell match, and then they once again give us a really shitty finish with some kind of interference from the Authority, because that's the same exact story we've been getting for weeks and weeks and weeks and months, and it's just that's not. I mean, it would build a story for Orton and Rollins, but then where does that leave? Ambrose. Is it going to be Brett? I don't know. I do think we're going to get interference.
There's a lot of moving parts in all of this.
Yeah, it definitely makes it interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with this. And I hope they don't drop the ball with it. I hope they really do something special. But like I said, I think Orton's going to interfere, and then probably see some interference by Rollins later on. Maybe he'll do something. Maybe he'll jump through the top of the Hell in a Cell or some cool shit like that. All right, continue on.
All right, I'll take the reins back from you now, you son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm okay now. But WWE starting off the first match of the show with another tag match, which we saw last week. I don't know how I feel about this. They kind of take everyone that's kind of feud, and they always do this before the pay-per-view. They take the mid-card rivalries that are happening at that point, and they just throw them all in a tag match, and they always do this. So this time you have Sheamus and the Usos versus Golden Stardust and The Miz, which turned out to be Mizdow. He got his opportunity to shine. And the most exciting thing about that match was Mizdow pins Sheamus. And it got me thinking. The ref didn't question it when Miz said, okay, you go in. So obviously this stunt double thing is allowed by the rule book. And WWE's rule book changes on a day-to-day basis because Vince McMahon is, Yonkers in the head. But, so come Sunday, do we see The Miz get in the ring with Sheamus and then decide he doesn't want to fight him and throw Mizdow in there? And do we see him pick up the victory and become the U.S. champion? I think that leads to a very interesting match, because that could happen, and then that leads to a feud between Damien Sandow and The Miz. And if that does happen, I actually would love for that to happen, because it would just build Damien up more. And the crowd, it's hilarious because Miz is a heel and the crowd hates it, but they love everything that Damien's doing. So it's going to be interesting to come Sunday. But the most exciting thing in that match was Mizdow getting the pin on Sheamus. Yeah, I said it, Sheamus. Anyway, Matt, your thoughts on that tag match?
Actually, I gotta agree 110% with you. When I first saw it, I'm like, are you shitting me? They're throwing all the mid-card into one match again? That was literally my first thought. The match itself was okay. I didn't think it was a terrible match. I just don't care. It's lazy to me. That's lazy. And a big fuck you to creative for being so goddamn lazy and just throwing that shit into a match. I don't know what to do with all these guys. We don't have enough TV time. We used to have a 2-hour show, and we seemed to fit everything in perfectly fine, but now with 3 hours, we can't seem to. It just boggles my mind that in 3 hours they can't fit into what they were always able to do in a 2-hour show. It makes no sense to me. Other than the creative team is just absolutely terrible. I'll save the rest of that rant for before the bell. But I just felt like, like you said, they were just throwing all these guys into one match. And I really love what they're doing with The Miz and Damien Mizdow. The only thing I was upset about, I really, really wanted Mizdow when he got tagged in to yell action like he did in that one match. Yeah. That was perfect. I was waiting for him to do it, and he did. I was a little disappointed, but I got over it. The pin was awesome, because to hell with Sheamus and his stupid haircut and his ugly dumb face. Ugh, hate that guy. I read a comment on YouTube recently, like a couple days ago. It was like, why does everybody hate Sheamus? I'll tell you why, because he fucking sucks. Watch him in the ring. He's not good. Did you see those hammer fists that he was throwing? They missed Sandow every time. Go rewatch that segment on Main Event, and he did the bro kick. He completely missed. Because he's terrible. And he's Irish. That's got nothing to do with it. I'm just angry.
That was harsh. Insulting Irish people worldwide.
I'm Irish,
including
too.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, I know. I'm Irish too. I don't hate Irish people. I was just on a roll.
He just hates Sheamus.
But yeah, I like that, and that actually makes a lot of sense what you said. You know, with him winning the title, because with the ending of that match, The Miz saying, "I won this match," and then Sandow saying, "I won this match." Obviously, he was copying what The Miz was saying, but he kind of hesitated at first. It looked like to say he copy what he's saying because he's like, "Wait a minute, I won the match," but then he's like, "I won the match," copying The Miz. So I would not be surprised if what you said happened. I think that would be awesome, and I really do think that's the route that they need to go, especially because it takes away the title from Sheamus, and then he can just go back and rot for the rest of his career, go do some shitty movies nobody will ever watch, and then just be gone from the WWE. Go film, go take The Miz's place and go film the Marine 13 or whatever it is.
Let's not even talk about the Marine films. They're just awful. We're not even going to get to the Marine 74. All right, we're not talking about the Marine.
I'm actually going to be watching the Marine 1 through 5 as my Halloween lineup for horror movies this year. I was waiting for it.
I had to do it.
Thank you. We're definitely gonna move on.
Oh man.
Oh shit.
All right. So after that tag match, we go to the backstage segment, which I'm happy WWE did a lot of these tonight. Something that they were not doing for a long time. Something that we all missed because it really adds to the storylines and adds to the shows and really brings I can't remember the word. I got it. Immerses you in that storyline. So there's a backstage segment between Triple H and Orton, and Triple H saying, this was Seth's idea. Seth came up with this. He's just looking out for you. Orton saying, you can be proud of me. I'm gonna do it. And right away, it just started to click on all cylinders. They're building this rivalry, and they're trying to make it seem like, oh, maybe Orton's going to win that title, and then as soon as he wins that title, Rollins is going to come and cash in and pick up the title. But definitely like what they're doing here with this storyline, like what they did in that batch. Can't talk today. Can't talk. Anyway, I like what they did with that backstage segment, and Orton follows up with, I'm going to go talk to Rollins for myself. I can't. I don't know what's going on. I can't talk to you. This is ridiculous. You got anything to add about that backstage segment?
Yeah, you go take a couple deep breaths there. you need to take a nap.
Yeah, I gotta take a nap.
Yeah, it was definitely. See, I like. It was a great promo from Orton. A great back and forth, really building, like you said, on this rivalry, and really putting Orton over. And here's the thing: it's obvious that from this promo and from the main event and from this show, Orton is turning. They want to turn him face. Right. So I think that in order to do that, it needs to be an aggressive Orton, the Orton that the Viper, the guy that gets pissed off, punching people in the head. We can still have that guy be a babyface. So that's the guy that they need, and I'm hoping from this promo and the way that he's been, wearing suits and the way he's been acting lately, that we're going to get that Orton. Because if we get another cheerleader Orton like he was on SmackDown when he was heavyweight champion, doing the frickin' jump in the air and doing that split thing, you see that you go find that GIF online of him doing that, like.
That was hilarious.
That was bullshit. Don't even get me started.
Greatest. That was hilarious.
No, it's fucking Orton. He should have fucking just punted everybody in the head and left.
The voices were talking to him. Come on.
Yeah, they told him to be a cheerleader and jump up in the air and do a split.
Oh.
Oh man, if that Orton shows up, then his career is done, and he can just.
No, he's not. No.
If he comes back as that, I give up on him, and he can just go and join Sheamus doing some Marine movies. He's done. I can't put up with that.
That was harsh, but
I can't put up with that Orton. I can't handle him. He's boring and he sucks when he's like that. When he's aggressive and when he's that heel, you can be, like I said, you can be that a heel-like aggressive Orton and still be a babyface. It's not about how you act. It's about how the fans perceive you. That's what makes a heel and a babyface. If they cheer him and he's doing heel stuff, he's a babyface. That's how. So they can get the fans to like him. They just have to build it properly. That's all it takes. And I think it's possible. But if they drop the ball again, I just give up.
I think that's exactly what they're going to try to do. You know, make him a babyface, but still keep those aggressive tendencies. If they don't, I mean, there's nothing we can do but complain online. But hey, if it happens, it happens. That's the way it rolls in the WWE. After that, we're just going to get all these out of the way now. The Bray Wyatt vignettes. Bray, come back to us. Save us. We miss you. Where are you? What happened? You were there, and then you just fucking disappeared. Gone. They left. They all left, and now we get these vignettes of it's coming. Rowan set free, Harper set free. Bray Wyatt had the spirit of Sister Abigail talk to him. Come on, just come back already. I'm so excited to see what this is building towards. I hope they don't drop the ball because they're just pushing this every single week. It's coming. What? I want to know. Obviously, the rumors are, oh well, maybe the Ascension is coming up and joining Bray Wyatt as his new, cronies and the new part of his family. Most of us here at Rope Break are kind of on the fence about that idea or against it. So I don't know how to feel about it at this point. If anything, I just want Bray Wyatt to come back. I don't really care about Rowan. I know we've said in the past that he's not really ready to be in the ring yet as a singles competitor. Harper, definitely he has the in-ring ability. He seems like he has the ability on the microphone. So, maybe he can make it as a big guy singles wrestler. Not many people for him to face, unfortunately, in today's WWE. But, I'll say it again. Bray, come back. Save us. That's all I got. Matt, what do you got? What do you think? Bray Wyatt come back? What are your thoughts on these vignettes?
I agree. I want Bray back. I love Bray Wyatt. Anybody who says that he can't wrestle can shove it up their candy ass because that is complete garbage, and you need to stop watching wrestling. It's just ridiculous. I do think it's going to be the Ascension. We'll get or it could be we're going to be introduced to Sister Abigail. Sister Abigail is just fucking like Bray Wyatt dressed in drag. That's Sister Abigail.
No.
Where's the
No. She just needs to be kept as this mysterious, non-existent entity that only lives in his head.
I agree. It would be funny though if you just see like Bray Wyatt pop on the screen wearing drag and he's like talking like he's Sister Abigail, and then it switches like they do it like he's got like split personality, and on one like it switches to one screen like it changes like the camera pans over and there's Bray, and then it pans back and there's Bray again, but he's in drag and it's Sister Abigail, and he's like talking to himself. That would be Sister Abigail because it's in his head. That's correct. That's the way I'd do it. All right, never
Oh,
fucking, never, ever hire me for WWE because that would be terrible.
let me call creative real quick. I'm gonna get you a job.
All right.
They're not answering. They're not
Oh
answering.
fuck.
Oh my
Anyway, Bray definitely needs to come back because he's losing steam. He gets put over by Jericho twice, then he gets knocked out by Big Show. Then we don't see him for a month and a half. He's losing steam. They put him over just to. It's just ridiculous. They put him over just to keep him off TV again. Because he's got to do the
Well, I think
WWE 2K. It's just.
why they have the vignettes now.
Yeah, but I mean, for we didn't see him on the last pay per view. He's just gone. So he needs to come back, and they need to really, really build on him and really make him interesting because, he's a huge part of that show right now, and the guy's a star. He's going to be big.
And Chris Jericho saying on an AMA this past week on Reddit that Bray Wyatt will be a world champion within a year. Definitely possible. Definitely could happen. I hope it happens. He'd be one hell of a world champion.
That's what I'm saying. Daniel Bryan beats Brock Lesnar for the championship, and then Brock Lesnar or Bray Wyatt later on, or maybe Daniel Bryan beats Seth Rollins, and then Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That'd be sick. They always put on one hell of a match. I think that'd be a cool match. But yeah, getting back to your question, getting sidetracked over here. Yeah, he definitely needs to come back to TV. I don't really, like you said, I don't care about Harper, or Eric Rowan, not Luke Harper. I meant Eric Rowan. I don't give a shit about. Luke Harper definitely, and he's been compared to Bruiser Brody, and I don't know why. I love Bruiser Brody. He's one of my favorites. I don't know why I didn't picture it until I read somebody said that, and it clicked, and I'm like, holy shit, yes, this guy's like the reincarnation of Bruiser Brody. This guy's like perfect. Can't wait to see what he does, but like you said, there's not really anybody right now for him to face. He can beat up like Big E Langston maybe, but there's really nobody. There's really nowhere for him to go. Like, I don't see him being a WWE champion.
No.
Maybe Intercontinental, so maybe he can, fight against Cesaro or something like that. But with them aside, Bray needs to come back. He's a huge part of that main roster. I look forward to his promos every single week because they're just amazing. And for all of you out there who actually think he reads from a script, he doesn't. He does not read from a script, and he actually doesn't even write anything down. It's kind of like an extension of things that he believes in. Like, obviously not like following the buzzards and shit like that, but like all of his world views that, like the government, in politics and government and things like that, and he brings that to his character, and they just start flowing out. So that's pretty impressive, because I thought for a while that he actually read from a script or wrote stuff down, but the fact that it's all off the cuff is pretty impressive.
Definitely impressive. For today's WWE, where a lot of guys can really put a good promo together without the script. So it's good to see that he is doing that without the script. After that, we come back and there's AJ versus Alicia Fox. Didn't really care for this match at the beginning. It got interesting towards the end when Paige got involved, was pushing around Alicia, and then got the distraction for AJ, and Alicia got the pin. And now here's the interesting news that came out today. We broke the story on RopeBreakWrestling.com that Paige and Alicia Fox are joining the cast of Total Divas. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, it was also reported that Vince McMahon has made the rule that no diva on Total Divas can hold the championship while they are part of the cast. So here's the issue. You put pretty much your entire roster on your show, and then you say, well, guess what? You're on the show. You can't hold the title. So now you have AJ as a champion with, if you really want to go by the rule, with no one to face besides Emma, who's barely ever featured on TV, and Layla, who again is not really relevant or should even hold the Divas title at this point anymore. So unless you call people like Charlotte, Bayley, and deplete the NXT women's roster, you don't really have any viable competitors for AJ to face while she's the champion. So the question is, what happens from here? Do we see that rule go away, and then WWE realize, okay, we can't have our entire Divas roster on a reality show, and then say, hey, guess what? You guys can't hold the title because the storylines don't match up. Well, here's a big fucking idea. Don't bring the Total Divas storylines into your WWE storylines. Plain and simple. So if you have Paige as a champion, or Naomi as a champion, or Nikki Bella as a champion, or Brie Bella as a champion, leave it off Total Divas. Don't feature it on Total Divas. Don't even show the fucking belt on Total Divas. Keep it completely separate. That way, you can still have these girls win the title while still being on the show and getting national exposure, getting their name out there and being seen, and making a little bit more money than they are, or adding to the money that they're already earning within the WWE. It's definitely a controversial situation amongst plenty of us here in the IWC. A lot of viewpoints going around on it. Matt, I'm pretty sure you're going to touch on it on Before the Bell on Friday, but I just want to get your quick thoughts on it right now. Just something real quick. What do you think about it right now?
Well, right now, I think this talking about the match on Raw, because I will definitely touch on Total Divas, Paige on stuff on Before the Bell, which is going to air this Friday at 12:30 Eastern. So wait for the link on Facebook for that. But as far as this match goes, I really it ends up at the end of the day becoming pointless, because we know neither Alicia Fox or Paige can hold the title, so these rivalries end up meaning nothing. That means the champion means nothing, therefore the title means nothing, your division means nothing, and you just effed it all up because you're trying to make a couple extra bucks doing your Divas show. It just makes zero sense to me. It's frustrating because they don't have... See, if they had a roster that had enough people, oh, you know what? We're both wrong. Duh. Tamina could come in and she's going to win the title. Oh, fuck that. I hope that doesn't happen. What? It will. Mark my words. You heard it here first. That's going to happen. Tamina's going to come back. New Divas champion. Mark my words, because that's the WWE for you. It's going to be bullshit. And then, yeah, it just doesn't make any... They don't have any depth in their roster, so it makes zero sense to put all these women on Total Divas. But I'm going to leave it at that because I got a lot more to say, and you can hear it on Before the Bell this coming Friday. So check and wait for the link on Facebook.
Definitely check out Before the Bell, people. It is a great show. Matt talking about plenty of topics, really giving his opinions, really driving it home and telling the WWE creative team to shove it where the sun don't shine every single week. I'm just trying to get a tweet to load here that Paige put out earlier after it was announced that she would be joining the cast of Total Divas. If I can get it to load here. Alright, this is what she tweeted. 8 hours ago she tweeted, "It's going to be good, don't worry, #rule changer." So hopefully that means, hey, I'm going to be able to fight for the Divas Championship. So maybe we'll see her pick it up on Sunday and win, and that'll be part of the current storylines for the after the mid-season finale for this Sunday's episode. Whatever. Moving on. It's going to be talked about plenty this week on the Sharpshoot and Before the Bell, so definitely look out for those. After that, you have the backstage segment between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. And basically the one thing I wanted to point out with this was Seth Rollins saying, something like the future looks bright, or the future will do the rest. Obviously, continuing to build that rivalry, continuing to move on, and really build that tension there, which you see implode later in the night. After that, Orton goes down to the ring and starts cutting a beautiful promo, trashing John Cena, saying, I came in 2002. I was a third-generation superstar with a legacy. John Cena came in 2002. He was just a punk kid from Boston, Massachusetts, who thought he could rap. And then he laid into the people of Kansas City saying, the Royals have won a World Series in 29 years and they're not going to win another one for another 100 years, really playing up the heel. And, for me, I think it's really going to be his last big heel moment, his last big heel promo for now. It was really, I'll use the term loosely here because it's used a lot now. It was really his own pipe bomb, if you want to put it that way. And then John Cena interrupts, and John Cena didn't cut a bad promo. He did some comedic stuff. He gets in, shut up, shut your mouth, saying, oh, you're sitting in here talking about the good old times. And then John Cena goes into using this old man voice, like Pepperidge Farm, remembers that meme. So, they're going back and forth, about their history and everything else. And Cena's saying, I'm going to walk in this match on Sunday, and, I have my eyes set on you just like the Kansas City Royals have their eyes set on winning the World Series. And I have my eyes set on you, and then I'm going to beat you and go on to face Brock Lesnar and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. At that point, you have the great Paul Heyman come out, and as always, cuts a beautiful promo. Can never say anything bad about Paul Heyman. And, of course, WWE playing off the internet hype from the RKO out of nowhere videos. Randy Orton RKOs both John Cena and Paul Heyman. It was beautiful. Great segment. Lots of good stuff. Definitely picked up that momentum from the first hour, carried it throughout the second. And Matt, I know you said earlier that you didn't see that part. Were you able to catch any of that segment from Raw?
I caught like the RKO. I caught a couple tidbits of it. But going off of what you're saying, piecing it all together, I'm pretty smart at that. I got this. You pieced it together for me. And just going by what you're saying and what I did see, I can honestly say that I'm definitely enjoying that version of Randy Orton, and I would love to see him bring that into his promos when he becomes a babyface. I think that's an element that he needs. The fact that he RKO'd Heyman, I think it would be best for him if he didn't become a full babyface, but if he became some sort of a tweener as far as his actions, not a tweener for the crowd, not a true tweener, but somebody who's an anti-hero, somebody who really doesn't give a shit who he RKOs. Like he can RKO Cena and Paul Heyman just like that. I think that would be the perfect setup for him. I think that's what he needs to do. And speaking of pipe bombs, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Are we down to like one viewer now? Are we down to one viewer?
We're
down to one viewer. Perfect.
You killed everyone.
That's like a perfect. That's my sweet spot. One viewer. That's my sweet spot.
You killed everybody.
That's what I like to hear. All them CM Punk haters tuning in to watch rope break, and now my fucking head is on some slouching anymore. Oh, look at that! Now you can see my beautiful face on the camera. CM Punk haters, they're gonna like take a snapshot of my face, and they're gonna like post it on their wall with like a circle and an X through it, and they're gonna try to hunt me down.
Oh my god.
They're psychos. They're psychos. I've read their comments. They're all psychos. I don't understand the hate for Punk. Punk's the man. Yeah, I said it. To hell with you. Yeah, I mean, from what I saw and from what you said, it was a hell of a promo. And I'm really interested to see if they continue this rivalry with Cena. They did a great job at building not only this match at Hell in a Cell, but building for either Cena or Orton to take on Lesnar at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Next was definitely continuing that momentum from the show, and you had Rusev and Big E. It wasn't a thrilling match, but what happened after was a better part of the show, a better part of this rivalry between Rusev and Big Show. Big Show on the monitor, and I didn't see what happened between really the end of the match and when the soldiers from the crowd jumped in. I kind of came in as he was jumping into the ring, so I was kind of lost. I'm like, all right, what the hell is going on? This random person's running into the ring, and then he gets fucking super kicked by Rusev, and he's down. He's got a bloody mouth. He's bleeding all over. No, he's not bleeding all over. I'm exaggerating, but he was hurt. And then you have Big Show come in, and he cuts the promo on Rusev, and then decides to go hunt Rusev down. Kicks down Rusev's dressing room, which I thought was hilarious for Rusev to have a dressing room. But kicks it down and really is in there contemplating. And I think for so long we both have said we don't really care for this rivalry. We just want it. We want it to be over with. We want this feud to be over with. And then this was like tonight was like, oh, okay, all right, I want to see this match now. I want to see what happens now at Hell in a Cell between these two. And now I do want to see what happens because of what happened tonight. Definitely a big moment with a random soldier jumping into the ring to defend America, and then being defensive and getting beat up. That's going to ring with a lot of people. WWE might even make the headlines for it, and the media might get a hold of it, spin it out of control like they always do with especially with Ebola. But that's not this kind of show. But like I said, I am excited to see what happens with this match on Sunday. Definitely glad they did that tonight. And Aussie mentioned it on our Facebook, and someone commented saying, "Oh, that totally looked fake," and that guy got a lot of backlash for it. And even one rope breaker, or should I say, former rope breaker, said he was leaving. My message to you: don't let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you, my friend. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say on that. See you later. Good riddance. We don't need you. 2 finger salute to you, buddy. Anyway, Matt, I know you were talking. You were talking to me while the show was going on. You said you liked that segment. You're definitely excited for this match. You got anything to add here on React after processing?
You bet your ass I got something to add. I always got something to add. Do you not know me? I always have my 2 cents to add all the time. Even if it's complete gibberish and makes absolutely no sense, I'm throwing it in there anyway. Even if we lose viewers, I'm throwing it in there anyway. That's just how I roll. If you want to hear gibberish, then that's exactly what Before the Bell is. We fucking talking gibberish. No, I love this segment. I thought it was awesome. I do wish that the military guy that jumped in the ring looked a little bit more authentic. The fact that he had 0 patches on him whatsoever, no medals, not even a nameplate that said anything on it. His name wasn't even on it. It literally looked like they went to the costumer, got the fucking uniform, threw it on the guy, and threw him in the ring. It didn't look real at all. It didn't even make an effort to make it look real. That was my biggest issue with it. It was just so lazily done. I really wish that they really took the time with this because this was a huge segment. But with that all being considered for what it was, I really thought that it was a great way to get Rusev over. It was really smart thinking. Why not have, because the military is such a huge part of this country, and throw him in the ring. It's literally like he attacked America.
Yep.
So the heat he's going to get from this is huge. I would have loved to see them actually bring in a legitimate like military personnel who actually has all the stuff and kind of show him how to take a super kick and things like that, and then have him do the segment. I thought that would have been huge because it's literally a real military guy. But like I said, for what it's worth, I thought that it was perfectly done as far as booking. That the thought into that segment of we need to have a military guy jump in the ring to try to defend America and then get super kicked. I thought that was perfect. Big Show coming out and cutting that promo. I actually really liked the promo. I thought he did a hell of it. I thought he did one hell of a job with the promo. Really getting emotional. The storming into the locker room, trying to find him backstage. I thought this entire segment was just awesome. And then, I mean, the match itself, like you said, really, it was really a filler match just to get to that segment. That was the meat and potatoes, if you will, if you let me use that analogy. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was.
Oh,
man, you're dying to use every one of those sounds, aren't you? Before we're up, you want to just make sure you use every one of them. You son of a bitch, cricket. It was an analogy, not a joke. It was an analogy. That was, you son of a, I'm glad you're enjoying. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, you bastard.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're losing yourself. I'm glad you find yourself funny.
Man. I can't help it. All right, we gotta move on with this show here.
Oh God, we need to move on. What the fuck are you doing? I get sidetracked on my own. I don't need your help.
After that segment, we go to another backstage segment. John Cena, Dean Ambrose watching See No Evil 2, which is out on DVD tomorrow. Now, I don't know. It's probably on the internet somewhere on some torrent site. You can buy it, download it, watch it, whatever. Do what you want with it. I lost my train of thought. And it's back. Yeah, I got it. I got it back. Hey.
All right.
It's back. All right. It's back. It's rolling. There's the steam. The locomotive spinning. But hilarious segment. Dean Ambrose saying to John Cena, you're like Superman. You stand for truth, justice, and the American way. And I'm like Batman, and I beat up scumbags. And, me being a big comic book fan, definitely love that little thing thrown in there. And then, Ambrose giving his strategy. We're just going to go in, and we're going to hit anything that moves. And if they try to take us down, we're going to take them down with us. And, John Cena, I like it. And then, Cena continue to act, that whole Batman, Superman stuff, you're not Batman. You're more like the Joker. Again, love that. I'm not going to deny that Dean Ambrose isn't a little bit like the Joker. He's obviously not going to go around massacring people for his own amusement, but definitely has some tendencies there. Again, another backstage segment. Loved it. We need more of them. We need more. WWE, if you're watching, we need more. I'm done ranting about that. After that, Brie versus Summer Rae, a total divas match. Again, we don't need these. We don't need these. Take them off the show. Give us something better. You know where that brings us. The third hour of Monday Night Raw kicks off with Dean Ambrose in the ring. And, we saw him backstage before the break, walking towards the ring with two big bags, wondering what the hell was inside. We knew a couple weeks ago that Dean Ambrose came out and gave the audience a bunch of merchandise. This week he comes out with a Seth Rollins dummy and a bag full of tools. I thought this segment was absolute gold. Just beating up on this dummy with a screwdriver and tongs and a hammer, and giving it a tombstone pile driver, which is a banned move in the WWE now. I thought this segment was absolute gold. And then, of course, you have Rollins come out. And then the thing that really brought it home was Mick Foley. By God. It was just absolutely on point. I can't say enough about how good of a job WWE really did with this segment. You had Mick cut this beautiful promo about how the cell really changes you, and him saying, when I look at you two, I want Ambrose to win, but when I really look at it, Rollins is the one that's going to win. It just really built this match as something that's going to really make an impact on Sunday. And, you mentioned to me during the show while we were talking, you know, if it doesn't live up to the hype, you know, they really brought Mick Foley in all for nothing. It was just a waste. So, you know, my fingers are crossed that they do put on one hell of a show, especially if they're going on before John Cena and Randy Orton, and really just get the crowd into it, and then, you know, the crowd will be dead by the time it gets to Cena Orton. But, you know, I do agree with what you said while we were watching. It needs to live up to the hype. And now I'm curious to see what you think about, you know, what happened during this segment.
Obviously, I loved it. A little disappointed that Ambrose didn't wear the wig. I really wanted to see him put on the wig and start mocking Ambrose or Rollins. I thought that would have been hilarious. Just to grab the wig and put it on, and start mocking him. But segment was awesome. The fact that I actually felt like the crowd was a little bit dead for that segment.
Oh, they were. You could hear it.
Not the whole segment, just the dummy part. When he was putting the screwdriver. I think a segment like that, to be quite honest, I think would have fared much better in a backstage segment with the dummy. I think the dummy would have been a lot better if he did it like in a dark, dingy room. You know, it's just like him talking to Seth Rollins like he's crazy, like he's talking like he's thinking it's like pretending it's Seth Rollins, like he's not trying to like pander to the crowd. You know, I just felt like that segment would have been better backstage in a dark, dingy room in some sort of like really well shot, segment, where he's talking to Dummy as if it's actually Seth Rollins. And then they could have done this segment where he calls out Seth Rollins in the ring and then had Mick Foley. But that's my little issue with it. And like I said, the crowd was kind of dead for it. And then obviously when Foley came out, the crowd woke up and remembered, oh shit, we're at a wrestling match. Maybe we should wake up and actually do something.
We're at a wrestling show. We should be awake.
We should be awake. We shouldn't be fucking sleeping, especially when Dean Ambrose is in the ring.
They're saving all their energy for tomorrow when the Royals play the first game of the World Series. That's why they were kind of tired. They're saving all their energy.
They're saving their energy, exactly. I love this segment. I love that Foley came out. That made the show for me. The show I already thought was pretty good all the way through, but when Foley came out, I was super excited. Loved his Santa Claus shirt that he was wearing.
Yep.
Surprised he didn't plug the Santa Claus movie, Santa is Real, that he's in, that comes out on DVD. I think that's why one of the reasons he was wearing it. But gotta love Mick. Always cuts one hell of a passionate promo. There's nobody else like him on the mic. He's one of the best. I just always love hearing him. It's so real. And everything. And like I said, it has to live up to the hype because this is so hyped up. It's making me think something. So shit. The way Mick Foley talked about the cell is that they're not gonna leave, the same. Which means some shit has to go down, and they really need to put their bodies on the line. If they stay only within the cell and they don't climb on it, I think that in and of itself is going to kind of diminish the hype. Because he's making, like, he got thrown off. He talked about getting thrown off the cell. He talked about going through the top door, the tooth being lodged into his nose. I think that if anybody in the company right now would be willing to do a match like that, it would be Ambrose and Rollins. I think they would, especially Ambrose. He's done shit like that constantly. In the Indies. Right. So I think these two are the guys to have a match like that. So I am expecting big, especially since like during the main event when Ambrose hits Rollins and he went flying back into the cage. Those are some of the cool things I would like to see them do in their match. So I got hope, like you said, I got my fingers crossed, hoping that they do something great. Otherwise, this whole segment was a complete waste of time.
All right, you heard it, Matt, saying that if it doesn't live up, it was a waste of time, and like I said, I agree with that. After that, Cesaro versus Ziggler. I know you said that you didn't really like it. Finish was kind of garbage. Definitely agree with you there. And that brings us to our main event of the evening. No, this is not UFC. This is React After Raw, reacting to Monday Night Raw. You just mentioned about the main event, how Seth Rollins hit the cell after that. After Ambrose hit him, and it did start off kind of slow, and I knew it was going to start off slow, because we were all just waiting for the cage to come down for the match to really start to pick up, and it really did. You have Rollins smacking himself on the cell, and then at one point he smashes his face on the door after trying to dive outside. You got Randy Orton yelling at tables. People are flying into stairs. Everybody's jumping on everybody. All hell's breaking loose, and then really right at the end was where the shock happened. You have Ambrose and Orton. They're in the ring, and they're getting ready to bring it home. And Ambrose gets thrown into the ropes, really getting ready to charge up that clothesline, and then RKO out of nowhere, and he gets the pin, and then Rollins comes in and gives him the curb stomp. Definitely a big shock there. Maybe that kind of really solidified Orton's face turn after taking that curb stomp from Rollins. Even Aussie mentioned it on our Facebook that he didn't even see that coming. And again, it's just really building that rivalry between Orton and Rollins. Orton saying, you're not the future. I was the future then. I'm still the future now. I mean, they're still building this rivalry. I'm glad they're still doing it. And it's really going to be interesting to see what happens on Sunday with these double main events as Triple H has built it. The biggest question is who really goes on last in the main event. Probably John Cena and Orton, but there's a lot going in here. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot could happen. Do we see Ambrose and Rollins have a full match? Do we, or does Orton, try to get revenge and interfere, and vice versa in the Orton and Cena match? Do we see Rollins interfere? Do we see Ambrose interfere? I mean, anything can happen. I mean, sure, they're locked in a cell, but that doesn't mean anything. But I did like this main event. One started to pick up once the cell came down, and I don't really have anything to complain about. It was good. WWE did a good job booking it. Lots of good spots, and really hyped up the matches for this Sunday. And I'm excited to see those. So, Matt, I want to get your thoughts on this main event from Monday Night Raw.
Well, as I said to you earlier, I was really kind of not really feeling the match. I thought it was kind of predictable. I mean, there's a cage above the ring. No other match really used the cage. So it was kind of obvious that they were going to bring it down. That was a little bit predictable. But all in all, I thought that they really pulled it together when that cage did come down. My biggest gripe with this match is that it was a fucking street fight and they never went in the street, which I knew was going to happen. I mean, it's obvious that it's not going to be a real street fight, but it's still annoying every time they do it. Stop calling it a street fight. Just call it a freaking no disqualification.
We talk about this every single time, whether it's here on React or just, while the show's going on. We one of us says it that it's not really a street fight. It's just a no disqualification.
Exactly. It's just ridiculous. There's no reason for them to call it that. It doesn't hype the match up anymore. It just makes us disappointed when we don't see them do anything but stay in the ring.
Yep.
So that was frustrating to see that. I thought the match itself wasn't amazing. I was a little disappointed in the match. But, after the cage, it really turned around when that cage came down. They kind of finished out the match. And like you said, Orton pinned Ambrose, which I thought was huge. I thought that was a huge victory for Orton. And then you got the curb stomp from Rollins, which was, I didn't see that coming. I actually thought it would be Orton RKOing Rollins. I thought it was going to be Orton who was struck first, but it was Rollins who took the opportunity, which I liked better because it kind of gives sympathy to Orton, but also, and it also leads to some arrogance on the side of Rollins, thinking that I'm better than everybody else in this. Everybody else, I can just do whatever the hell I want. He's kind of becoming, not to use the term loose cannon, but that's the only word that comes to mind. He's becoming kind of not crazy, but like unpredictable. And I want to see where Triple H goes. How they write this in the storyline. Is Triple H going to be pissed at him?
It also gives Orton more motivation to go after Rollins and try and take him out after getting gripped by, Rollins.
Right, right. So I mean, I thought that was definitely the best way to go about it. I like the way they booked that. And as Aussie pointed out, you know, the show was great and great booking. I thought from start to finish, the show had some great booking. You know, they started with the Authority and they ended with the Authority. We talk every week, whether it's here on Reactor, before the bell, or even on the Sharpshoot. You know, continuity is huge in the WWE. I'm always talking about it. You know, they when they start with one match and then end with something completely different, it just throws the whole show off. So I like it when they have that seamlessness. They started the show with the Authority. They had the middle of the show with the Authority. Then they ended the show with the Authority. They had that connection all the way through, and it really held it together. The match placements I thought were really well done. A lot of times they'll clump all the really crappy filler matches into one spot and really ruin an entire block of the show. Um, you know, when you space them out and you put them in between, like when you put the Total Divas match in between and sandwich them in between two solid matches, it makes it, you know, it makes it okay. You're not like, you know, I still think fuck that match and it sucks, but I'm not too concerned because, you know, I got some relief after by seeing an awesome match. I think it was Ziggler Cesaro after that match. I could be wrong, but I think that was the match after. So you get a decent match after. But the main event really pulled it all together. You know, that curb stomp really solidified these storylines. They've been really, you know, really good with, you know, finishing these storylines out strong. I thought this was a perfect way to lead into the pay-per-view. You know, and I really, after that, the finishing, closing segment, you know, of the show, I really have nothing bad to say.
All right, yeah, I definitely agree with you there. You know, with the continuity, we talk about it every single week here on React before the Bell Sharpshoot. It's always just a big topic with us. And ladies and gentlemen, we have been here for 1 hour. Like I said, we would be here for 1 hour. And now it is time for everybody's favorite part of the show, the letter grades and final thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Matt, your final thoughts and letter grade for Monday Night Raw.
Man, put me on the spot. Let's see. Um, Man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this show. I'm gonna be nice and give it an A because I thought they did one hell of a job. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we got in all of the sound effects. I think we're missing the gong, so I'll give you a second. Play the gong just so you can say you got them all in.
No, there's plenty more, but those were the only ones really appropriate for tonight.
Well, okay. All right. He's happy.
I'll play the gong anyway at the end.
All right, he'll play the gong just to make himself happy. You can tell he's super amused by having control over these things. He can just click them at any time he wants, even in the middle of me talking, like a jerk. But I got to give it an A because, you know, I thought they did a great job with, like I said, continuity, throw that word around. You know, they booked the match placement, you know, was booked properly. They really, you know, like I said, they spaced it out properly. I thought I mean, while every segment wasn't as well thought out as it should have been, there was a lot of great concepts to be built from. Like I said, with the military guy, should have definitely been more realistic than just a guy who went to costumer 5 minutes before and threw the stupid rent-a-costume on and got in the ring to be super kicked. I thought it was also weird that the ref put on like a glove when there was no visible blood. Period. Like there was no blood, but he put on the glove.
There kind of was. If they had the camera kind of focusing on his face for like three or 4 seconds, and you could kind of see that there was some blood kind of building up in his mouth. So you know, they do that just as a precaution anyway.
Huh. All right. Well, I guess there was blood. Anyway, you know, I thought that overall it was a solid match, a solid way to build for the upcoming pay-per-view on Sunday. You know, and most of the matches, I gave it an A mainly for the fact that I wasn't excited for Big Show Rusev, and after tonight, now I am. I wasn't really excited for Randy Orton versus Cena. now I kind of am. I wasn't really excited for Ambrose Rollins. Well, no, I was excited for Ambrose Rollins. That's actually the only match I was excited for, and now now I'm even more excited. So the matches that I didn't really care for now, except for Brie Bella versus Nikki, I could give two shits about that match.
Which has the weirdest stipulation that I've ever heard of in the history of this goddamn company. Have you read what the stipulation is?
No, I didn't.
Okay. The stipulation for this match is the loser of Nikki versus Brie Bella has to become the assistant to the winner. And in the words of Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. If the assistant does not fulfill her duties correctly, does her job, to the fullest extent, she will be fired from WWE. That is the stipulation for that match.
That is the dumbest stipulation I've ever fucking heard. That is just such a random stipulation. I want to know who thought of that stupid stipulation. Freaking Michael P. Hayes getting drunk backstage with Rosa Mendez. Like, what would be a great stipulation? An assistant. I had one of those back in the day.
Rosa, you were my assistant in more ways than one, but we're not going to talk about that here.
Whoa. What are you assuming over there? She is a nice lady. Anyway.
Yes.
That's what happens. That's what happens late at night on Rope Break.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a weird stipulation. I'm not interested in that match whatsoever. I hope it gets left off the card accidentally. I hope they forget to put it in.
Oh my god. Oh,
that would be great. Like, oh shit, we forgot a match. It's only the Bellas who gives a shit.
If that's your thought now, I can imagine what your thought is going to be Sunday. Jesus.
It's just such a waste of a Hell in a Cell. Like, your first Divas match in a Hell in a Cell is this.
It's not going to be a Hell in a Cell, actually.
Oh,
that's why they
added
thank God.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good. Woo. Still, it's not going to be that good. Nikki, here, I'll give you guys the match so that way you can go take a piss break and not miss anything. Nikki wins and Brie becomes her bitch, and then Brie eventually gets so pissed off that she overcomes the odds. And wait a minute, I thought Nikki was dating Cena. Like fucking overcoming the odds just like John Cena, and then fucking beats up Nikki and eventually beats her at Survivor Series or WrestleMania. They're gonna fucking drag this on until we decide to hang ourselves. That's literally. I think that's what they want. They want a mass die-off of WWE fans, so they can make.
God.
They're tired of our generation. That's what it is. Vince is sick and tired of. Vince is sick and tired of our generation. He's sick of our generation of fans.
Did that really
always
just
telling them what to do?
The WWE wants a mass extinction of the current generation of Jesus Christ.
He doesn't like that we're fucking right and he's fucking old as shit and doesn't know what he's doing. And he's tired of it. And he puts these terrible matches on the air so that we'll eventually kill ourselves and take care. Put these matches on, the problem will take care of itself. That's what he wants. Well, let me tell you something, Vince. I'm not going anywhere, damn it.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the point. I have another theory, though. This is another theory that I have. It's possible that if that's not the case. Now listen, this is a good theory. I'm thinking the WWE as a whole is turning heel. I think that's why we've been getting shitty Raws and why we get these shitty matches. I think they're trying to turn the entire company heel as a whole. Like, they're just trying to get the fans to hate the WWE. They want to turn heel. That's my theory.
I feel like I just read the synopsis to an episode of the X-Files. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. All right. Matt giving his final thoughts, talking about mass extinction, and giving Raw a surprising, solid A. Definitely big here at Rope Break because I don't think we've ever given out an A. Trying to think. Nope.
I'm giving an A. I'm giving an A as far as this generation goes. It's not an A It's only from like 2013 on. That's what I'm counting as this new generation.
Oh
It's
man.
an A from what we get on TV in this generation. It's not the
All right.
ruthless aggression era. It's a different kind of A. It's a handicap A.
All right. It's a handicap A. That's interesting. We're gonna have to make a definition of that in the rope break dictionary, and we'll pull that one out every now and then. But you know, I'm gonna give it an A minus because I thoroughly did enjoy the show. I was entertained. It was booked properly. It was continuity, and even during that final in the main event, I was really into it. I was like, okay, what's gonna happen next? It really, and then like you said, the Rusev and Big Show thing really got me excited for that match. Bringing back Mick Foley was another point, really driving it home. Mizdow picking up the win, another big thing to really drive it home. WWE did a great job on this go home show. And I know we've mentioned it a few times here on React. Aussie's talked about it on the Sharpshoot. Usually this time of year, WWE is putting out a lot of shit because they just want to get to the road to WrestleMania, so they're just trying to get by on a lackluster product. But they really did one hell of a job on this show. And that's it. I'm going to give it an A. Those are my final thoughts. We got one more thing to do here. Matt, you know what time it is.
Oh, I know what time it is. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to vent this on React. I talk about this all the time on Before the Bell now. So for those of you who watch, you should be familiar, and for those of you who have seen me on React, you should be familiar. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Friends right now. Alec knows where I'm going with this. Listen, guys, if you're new to rope break, or even if you're not new to rope break, this applies to you too. If you have friends that don't know about the rope break, then you're neglectful, you're a terrible friend, and you should just stop, reevaluate your life, because you're doing something wrong. Guys, React is a lifestyle. I can't say any clearer than that. It's a lifestyle, and if you're not living the rope break lifestyle, well, then you're not really living, and that is not me being biased. That is just a fact of life. So get out of the bleachers, get away from cage side, because there's no better place to be than inside the ring with rope break. And that's just the truth. That's the truth. In the words of Tyson Kidd, fact.
Fact, yeah, fact. Couldn't say it any better myself, and now it's time for the shameless plugging. Listen, guys, we have our biggest giveaway we've ever done coming up. Well, maybe not our biggest in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality, it is our biggest giveaway. Listen, we are giving away a copy of WWE 2K15 to one. That's right, one in 2,775 people so far. If we hit 3,000 likes on our Facebook page by Survivor Series, so I don't care what you have to do. Tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles, your great uncles, your third cousin twice removed. I don't care who you tell. Get them over to Rope Break. Have them hit that like button. Get those 3,000 likes. And maybe you could be the lucky winner of WWE 2K15 for the console of your choice, and even a replacement cover made by the man Aussie himself to replace that awful John Cena cover. It just makes me want to throw up. No, I'm only kidding. But guys, it's been a great show. Don't forget to check out the Sharpshoot with Aussie this Thursday. He puts it out every single week. He puts on one hell of a show. It's one of the best damn shows on YouTube. And he's giving you lots of great stuff every single week. Network's picks on this day, even him shooting himself. How do you like me now? It's great. After this is done, go and watch and be entertained. It'll be out Thursday at noon. And also, don't forget to tune in to Before the Bell on Fridays at noon with the one and only Matt Donato, talking about all the latest and greatest stuff in WWE and giving his sometimes I don't know how to put this, uh, intriguing opinions on the current product. Definitely has a unique viewpoint, a traditionalist viewpoint, and it's one hell of a show. And if you're not listening, then you're not living. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for tonight, and that's it. We are going to close the show. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you didn't, we got 2 words for you: rope break. Good night, everybody.